So, what's going on, everybody? How is your Tuesday evening treating you already? Now, as you can tell, it's still really bright outside. You can see the cars going by and things. Um, so this is going to be once again we're going to do a Q&A this evening because I think last time, if I remember correctly, was good, but there was one time before that it kind of got interrupted. So, um, if you would, if anybody here who's watching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And then DK says, "Hey Nate, I hope everyone's healthy in the family." Yes, we are healthy. As a matter of fact, everyone that we work with and are with, we don't know anybody that has the virus yet. So very thankful. Um, DK is from Foxborough, Massachusetts, and hey mom, Renee Porter's from Virginia Beach, and apparently DK has some friends, was a family in Virginia Beach. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. Once again, it's Shop Talk Tuesday live. It's one of my favorite times during the week. And just guys, really quick, Richard, DK, I mean, how is the quality? Is it pixelated or is it good? So this is the second week that we are on our new internet, new data plan. And I just wanted to see if you guys can hear me, if it's pixelated or if it's clear. Let me know. Richard Collins says, "Hey, hey, hey," from the heartland of Michigan. That's awesome. Justin Neves, I made it this round. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. What's going on, Justin? DK says, "Excellent quality, looks great." And Renee Porter, woohoo, Shop Talk Tuesday. Mark says, looks and sounds good. Okay. Well, guys, like I said, thanks for coming and joining me this evening. We do have a few things coming up. So, real quick, just a few things that are personally in my life. My wife, you may or may not know, she's pregnant, and we are having a baby boy, and he'll be here in September. So we're really excited about that, and we're trying to get our house prepared for that. So you see the sheet behind us. That's because the room behind me is what we're going to be using as the playroom for all the kids, and well, for the two kids. And so I'm trying to get that done in the midst of doing all the epoxy projects, and we have a lot that is coming up. So I have a few things that we will go over with you soon. Some upcoming projects. First of all, I went and I got a new phone, got a new iPhone 11, and then so I went and bought some iPhone 11 cases, and I bought about 10 of them, and we're going to do some epoxy phone cases. So if you guys are interested in how to do that, or if you want to purchase some, we're gonna have a how-to video on that, and then we'll have the few that we make on my website for sale. So be looking out for those. If that is something that you're interested, leave me a comment. Let me know. Also, if you saw the the thumbnail picture, that was some wood that I picked up. It was in the back of my truck. I got a great deal on that, on some black walnut. So we'll be making some stuff out of that. Also, we have a huge 9-foot white oak dining table coming up. I just sold that job the past couple days, and we just picked up the lumber over the weekend. So that was really, really cool. And the if you saw on Instagram, if you guys go to my Instagram page, it's Good View Woodworks. I did post a quick video there and also on Facebook just of how the lumber looked. It was really, really, really pretty. Let me get to some of the comments. Mark says, "Hey, look, sounds good." Richard Collins says, "Beautiful reception. Audio is 10 out of 10, 10 by 10. Okay, awesome. James Taylor says, "How is everyone doing from Buffalo, New York?" Very clear, sounds and looks good. That's awesome. Jennifer says, "Hey, Nathan and good viewers. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody." Um, Martin says, "Congratulations." Not So DK says that he his family in Timmins Way, Virginia Beach. Anthony Porter, congratulations. What's up, Anthony? How you doing? DK says, okay, let's see. Here we go. Saber Saw says that is a huge table. Yeah, for real, it really is. So far from my calculation, it's going to take 15 gallons of epoxy to fill the river. It may be a little bit more because there's a lot of holes and places where it has rotted out, so it has these lakes in it. So, Jennifer says, "Is that big star flower looking slab or cookie? Cannot hardly wait to see that project." So Jennifer, okay, so check this out. That's a great question. So that big star shaped cookie, the guy just messaged me about it a couple days ago, and he's prepping the slab as we speak. So it was like 17 inches thick, and he's going to cut a 4-inch cookie off of it for me, and then we'll go through the process of drying it and prepping it and all that. Excuse me. But so he's not ready yet for me to pick it up. So once he is ready, though, we'll be posting video on the trip, on every step of the process, so you can literally see it's coming from tree to finished product. And I really don't know how long that process is going to take. This will be my first time actually second time taking something that's wet and having it kiln dried. So Darren says, watching from Australia, love your work. Hey, thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. DK says 15 gallons is a lot of resin. It really is. I'm actually thinking it may be closer to 18 gallons, something like that. But I don't know. So Saber Saw says, was the carbon board finished? As a matter of fact, we finished yesterday. And so that will be the next video coming up this week in the next day or two. All I have to do is the recording is done. I just have to edit and post. So thanks for asking, Saber Saw. And Jamie says, hi from Charlestown, West Virginia. What's up, Jamie? Saber Saw, that's crazy money in resin at 15 gallons. Yes. Yeah, it was. But if you guys go over to Incredible Solutions. Sorry about that. Got somebody trying to call. Sorry about that. Somebody's trying to FaceTime me. Could you guys hear that? So anyway, Incredible Solutions, they hooked me up and gave me a little bit like a 15% off discount. So that really helped out. If you guys want to go check them out, then you can find them on Amazon. Type in Incredible Solutions Casting Epoxy, and that's what I'll be using. I'll be using their liquid plastic. It's good to pour up to 2 inches thick, and which is cool because this slab is 2 inches thick. And so we'll be right there at 2 inches. Excuse me. DK, is that you or me? LOL. Yeah, no, that was me. Somebody's trying to FaceTime me. Emerson says, hi, Nathan. It's me again, Emerson from New York. What's going on, Emerson? How are you? So, real quick, would you guys be interested in seeing the cell phone case, how to do that or anything like that? Let me know in the comments if that is something that you'd be interested in. Also, so Saber Saw, he mentioned a good point. So the epoxy carbon fiber board will be coming out in the next couple of days. Also, what we have in the running is we have Esther's nightlight, my daughter's nightlight with the little mermaid in it. That's also coming up by the end of this week. And then we have another like serving tray video, but it's huge. It's for a serving tray. It's 3 feet long and 2 feet wide, and it's made out of a really cool piece of black walnut. It's the top cut where it had a lot of branches, so you see like a branch like that, and it's kind of wavy on the outside. It's a really cool piece. You can see it in the thumbnail of this video laying kind of on the top. So we're excited for that to come up soon as well. And then we do have a couple of videos coming out. I have a lot of projects coming up. We're also going to be doing a podcast table for another for a person, a guy that has a podcast, and so he wants to have what they call a serpentine table, which means you have a radius on the outside of the table and you also have a radius on the inside of the table. So it's shaped like a quarter of a donut, essentially. So that's coming up. And then we have a couple of dog crates that we were making with sliding barn doors. There actually won't be any epoxy in that one. It'll be a dog crate that holds 2 dogs separately with 2 sliding barn doors in the front, and then another one for a bigger dog, and they'll all go in the same house actually, which is cool. And then so yeah, I think that's about it for the projects that are coming up. Had a lot of people reach out to me, and oh, another thing, we had a comment from a woman who asked that they can't find any live edge lumber, and asked if I would send her a piece. And I said, you know what? Sure, I could totally source a piece. So if you guys ever have that question, um, let me know. I can try to source some for you if you'd like. But just let me know what you want to do. I could do that as well. So um, Renee says would like to see the cell phone case. Saber Saw says yeah. DK, yeah, on the cell phone case. Jennifer says it'll do while we're waiting on that big piece of wood. That's funny. Richard says I'm good with anything you put up. That's awesome. Jamie says, what are all the forms of colors you've used? Powders, ink, acrylic, etc. Okay, so etc. So Jamie, great question. I have not used acrylic paint in it. However, I've used spray paint in there. I've used the metallic powders, my Goodview Woodworks metallic powders. I've also used ink dye. So like if you guys go back to the conference table build, I used black ink on that project. So that was pretty cool. That was my first time using the ink, but see, so if you guys have this, I've had this question pop up a lot, and what it is what's better, powder or ink or whatever, but it all depends on what you want. So the ink dyes, the resin dyes, they are made for a translucent for you to be able to see through the resin. You can also achieve that with powders, but it has like a metallic swirl kind of mixed in. When you use it won't be fully translucent and just tinted, and that's more of what the inks do. So if you want to like have it opaque where you can't see through it, the metallic powders will give it more depth. So there's two ways you can look at it. Sabersaw says epoxy barn doors. So that is something that would be a little further in the future. But in my master bedroom, that I would like, we already have a barn door that I made years ago, but I'm thinking about doing like a cast slab kind of sliding door. So that is something that I personally want. But you know, sometimes personal projects get put to the side. But yeah, I do want one of those. I think we'll be doing a video of those soon. Jeremy says there are tons of people around him who sells live edge wood. DK says spray paint to color the resin. Yes, you can use spray paint. The trick is put a paper towel or something over it to spray in so it doesn't cloud or overspray doesn't go everywhere. And Jennifer says, where are you, Jeremy? Jeremy said Northeast Indiana. So yeah, so those are the projects that are coming up soon. We actually have a lot. For the first time ever, I put a dry erase board in my dining room up on the wall. My wife told me, she said, you have got to get a schedule. Come on. And if anyone who knows me knows that I am terrible with organization, it's something that I work really hard at because it just doesn't come naturally. So it's something I have to put a lot of effort in and to be organized. And if you guys ever seen my shop in the videos, not organized. Really sorry about that too. Sabersaw, come on, man. Hopefully you didn't cut yourself and put it into the epoxy. That would be terrible. So I want to open up the chat now. If you guys have any questions, epoxy questions that you ask, now be the time to send in your questions. That way we can do a live Q&A. Hey, Jeremy, just so you know, YouTube is automatically hiding your messages when you say things like that. It kind of flags it, so just be careful. And then Ferguson says, "Howdy, buddy. How's it going, Ferguson?" Craig says, "I understand what you mean. I'm asking for help to organize my shop." Yeah, it's terrible. For me, it's terrible. Ferguson says, "What's 2 plus 2? 4, I think, right?" Do you have any other questions? DK says, "Going to do a river table with empty bullet shells throughout. Should I fill them first? I'm just worried about air bubbles." That's a really good question. I would think that it all depends on the look you're getting. So if I were to do bullet casings, I would do a clear resin, and I would have to pour it in multiple layers, because if you poured all the bullets in one layer, they're kind of stuck in that one layer. But if you poured some thin layer and then some, they would be all the way mixed in. But that's just the way that I would do it, and I would assume that it would help to use a slow setting epoxy so that all the air bubbles can escape. And then once you pour the bullets in there, to move them around and get that air out of them, and don't just let them sit. That would be another way to do it. But I wouldn't think that you would have to fill them first before putting it in there. I don't know if you have to do that. Jamie says, "Wall epoxy art. What's your go-to for mounting? French cleat or wires, or..." Sorry, that's not specific to us. No, that's a great question. I appreciate that. I really like a French cleat. A French cleat is easy to make. It's not super difficult, and it hides well behind the wall. But I've also used just the metal hardware that you get from like Home Depot or something to hang pictures. It's just 2 nails or screws in the back, and it has like a little ridge, and you hang it on the wall on some nails. That's also a good one. But I really like the French cleat. It's much cleaner looking, in my opinion. DK also bought. Wait, what does that say? I also bought Fix It, so it would take longer. Susan says, "I'm getting my first live edge wood for a small table. Your inspirational suggestions for which of your videos to watch. I've made cutting boards, etc. Small projects, ready to step it up." Okay, Susan, great question. You can watch the conference table build on there. You can watch the yacht table build. That's another big one. And then pretty much any of the coffee tables that I've done also would be a good one. It's all the same stuff, just on bigger scale. But Susan, appreciate that. Eddie says, "Hi, I started watching your channel from Mexico City a couple of months back, and I really appreciate your work and you sharing with us." Hey, Eddie, I thanks for the encouragement. I appreciate that. Craig says, when you have epoxy dry too quick, what causes that? What can you do to not make that happen? Okay, so Craig, usually what causes epoxy to set up too fast is when you have a tabletop epoxy that's only made to be poured in thin, like 1/8 inch layers, and you pour it too thick. Then you have that exothermic reaction that happens, causes a lot of heat, makes it set up really quickly. That's usually the problem. So I would say the solution to that problem would be to make sure that you get an epoxy that is a slow setting epoxy, like a casting epoxy. Also, they have other tabletop epoxies that have like a 45-minute working time, like Stone Coat Countertops or Incredible Solutions. Dave says, "If you don't have a planer, any ideas on how to get a flat surface?" Have you ever seen a router sled? That would be another way to get a flat surface, would be use a router sled. It's super easy to make. There's videos on YouTube for you to check it out, and you can type in how to make a router sled, and that's a good way to plane them down as well. Great question. Craig says, "Does epoxy go bad if it's just sitting there?" Um, like if you like in a half empty, half open container. I've had like a container half full sitting for over a year, and it's still fine to use. I will say though that in cold weather, it will like crystallize inside. The epoxy will, not the hardener, but the epoxy will crystallize inside the container, and it's still okay to use. You just have to heat it back up in some warm water, the container, and once the crystals go away, it's ready to use again. Um, Susan says, "Thank you, darling. You're awesome." Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Jennifer says, "Dave Scott, router sled." See, Jennifer, she said she knows what's up. The Saber saw hand planes. Yep, that's right. And no problem, Dave. Yeah, so go check that out. They're easy to make. I made one in just a couple of hours, and I've used it several times to get things flat. But also, you could probably search a local sign company or somebody that has a CNC machine, and you can pay to have them flat. And that's another way. I've showed that on some of my videos as well. Sometimes time, most of the time, time is money, and sometimes it's easier to outsource some things, especially if you have a huge table. If you were to plane it on your own, if you had smaller equipment, it may take several hours when you can pay, 50 or $60 to have somebody plane it down for you. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for yawning, guys. Um, Lost Sailor says, "Hey, bro, how's it going?" Thank you for all the questions, guys. They're really good, really great questions. Um, so uh, I'm really excited for Esther's nightlight because we're going to be putting some LEDs in the bottom. Obviously, it's going to be a night light. And I'm really excited to see how it shines through the epoxy because we have several layers. I think we did 3 or 4 pours on that one, and I'm curious to see if you can see the mermaids shine through. I'm really excited for that project to be, and that'll be at the end of the week. So I'll probably post that maybe Saturday or Sunday after I post the carbon fiber surfing board. Jamie says, "Would you use tabletop epoxy for inlays?" Yes, definitely would use tabletop epoxy for inlays, and that's because an inlay, you're not going super deep. I would say max for an inlay would be 1/4 inch, 3/16, something like that, and tabletop epoxy works really well with that. Susan says, "Are we able to access this chat?" What do you mean? You mean later on after the live stream is over? Susan says, "You've shared so much. Great. So excited for you to be." Yeah. Thank you so much. So, Susan, yeah. So, our baby girl that we adopted, she's doing really well. And then we are about to have a baby boy in September. So, we're really excited about that. Ron says, "Are mixing containers reusable?" Yes, definitely. But there is a caveat. And what it is, if you're just pouring a color, it's not a finished pour. You can always just crack the old epoxy out, pull it out, wipe all the bits out. But if you are using it for a finish coat, I would recommend only using a new mixing container for top coats or finish coats. DK says, "Congratulations on the boy." Thanks, DK. Appreciate that. Susan says, "Oh my goodness, awesome. So excited for y'all." Yeah, Susan, we are super ecstatic as well. So, there is a project that we have coming up as well. We are going to be doing our kitchen countertops, which I'm excited for. We're also in this room behind us where the kids are going to play. We're going to epoxy the floor in here. So there will be some cool videos with that coming up as well. I almost forgot that. But this will be my first time pouring epoxy on a floor. So, we may have some some mistakes, but we're going to show the whole process. It shouldn't be too hard, but then again, it's going to be a little different. Oh, Los Angeles says, "What's that cocktail you're sipping on?" So, my wife and I this past weekend was our 5 year anniversary, and also obviously my wife's first Mother's Day, and so we went out to just go up to a park outside, and I stopped by Harris Teeter and grabbed some margarita mix, and obviously she's pregnant, so there's no alcohol, and so we just did a little frozen virgin margarita, and I'm sipping on that. It's really delicious. Um, DK says floor epoxy project sounds fun. It really does. I think I'm gonna have to buy some of those little spikes for the shoes, because I think once I want to have like a certain color scheme, like marble or something, and so I'm gonna have to put multiple layers. So I'm gonna need. I don't know where to get those, but I have to try to find those little spikes for your shoes. Lost Seller says, "Congrats on all that." Yeehaw. um, Mike says, "What's your favorite epoxy for a river table?" Okay, Mike, great question. I have really been liking the Incredible Solutions um, epoxy, but my favorites and my go-tos, most of the stuff I've used for river table would be Stone Coat Countertop Supercast. It's really good. Um, and then this Incredible Solutions liquid plastic also is very good. I will say that the Incredible Solutions you can pour thicker than you can the Supercast, but not many tables need to be poured 3 inches thick. Um, you do have to be careful with the Stone Coat product because um, if you pour 2 inches or more, you definitely need to have a fan on it or pour in a cooler temperature because it will get hot and crack. I had that happen on the conference table. It was easy fix because it was black and black. You won't be able to see any seams. However, if you were to crack on like if you had a swirly green or blue or something like that, you would be able to see it. Um, so so that's my answer for the for thicker pours, I really like the Incredible Solutions. Thanks for that question, Mike. Um, Second star to the right says hello from Brooks, Alberta, Canada. What's going on? Second star to the right. Jennifer says look for sport cleats / sneakers. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could use those too. Have you done a floor before, Jennifer? I know you can get the like golf shoes. You can get the spikes that you add in there. Um, but anybody here has anybody ever epoxied floor before? That's a good question. Like, where do you get those spikes? Craig says Amazon. Okay, I'll check on there. All right, guys. Well, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Um, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hitting that like button for me. Remember, if we get more likes, obviously it puts it up higher in the queue. Thank you for supporting this channel. And like I said, I really enjoy our talks on Tuesday. It's really, really fun. Renee says Tailgate Down has the spike shoes. Oh, okay. All right. I'll check him out. But once again, guys, thanks for watching. And just thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate it. My goal here is to get as much information out to you guys as possible. And if you ever do want to support this channel, feel free to leave a super chat during this. What a super chat is you're able to click the little dollar symbol down below the chat. You can enter an amount, and then it will post your question or whatever at the top of the screen, so that I can see it'll stay there longer. But yeah, guys, thank you for all that. I really appreciate it. And feel free to go over to Facebook, to the Goodview Woodworks. There's a private group. You can answer the 2 questions and be on that group. That'd be great. You can ask questions there. You can also go to my Instagram and direct message me there if you need to, or check out any of my projects that haven't made it to video form on YouTube yet. I have been trying to post pictures on Instagram, give you guys a preview. So go check out my Instagram there, Goodview Woodworks. And then once again, goodviewwoodworks.com. You can find the pigments there and YouTube videos as well on my website. And if you want to direct message me, you can also email me directly from my website. So guys, once again, thank you. Lost Sarah says, we love you, man. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the thanks and everything. So guys, with that being said, thank you for hanging out with us this week, this evening, excuse me. And I will catch you on the next one. All right. Good night, guys.